Welcome to Masters in Clarity. My name is Dolores Hirschman, and I'm the CEO and founder of Masters in Clarity. Let me share with you our method to help entrepreneurs and ideapreneurs clarify their ideas worth sharing, design the strategy, and take the action towards realizing the impact their ideas are meant to have in the world. Let me introduce you to the idea method. The idea method has been designed based on the work we have done with entrepreneurs and ideapreneurs across the years. Let me explain the concept of ideapreneur. An ideapreneur is someone who has been inspired by what we call an idea worth sharing, an idea that is designed to make a positive impact in the world. This term came as we worked with speakers, specifically speakers that were going to stand on a TEDx stage and help them clarify their idea worth sharing in order to bring it to a stage like TED and TEDx, which is one of the things that we do here at Masters in Clarity. But the concept of ideapreneur led us to develop the idea method, which is a methodology for business growth, a framework for business growth that anchors the process of growing your business. And when I say process of growing your business, I mean the actions that we take day in and day out to grow our business, and they're all anchored in what we call the cornerstone idea. So the cornerstone idea is the way we have defined how we impact the world. If you're familiar with Simon Sinek's Start With Why, his book, and then his talk surrounded that topic, it's about understanding and having in the forefront the reason why you do the work that you do. But beyond starting with why, beyond having the philosophy, the idea allows you to have a tangible, actionable statement of the work that you do. Let me give you a very, very, very simple example. I'm going to use the example of a bakery. A bakery begins their business with the idea of to provide or to bring to market to give clients the experience of the ultimate brownie, if you want, so that they can engage their tastes and engage their palate. That's a very simple example. For me, my idea, the reason why I run Masters in Clarity and the work that we do is that my idea we're sharing is to help entrepreneurs clarify their cornerstone idea so that they can consistently and intentionally grow their business. Okay? So once we have the cornerstone idea, which is the first thing I do with my clients, I help them define their framework. What is a framework? A framework, if you think about a house, a framework is the structure that you build before the rest of the house comes into place, before the shingles or the sheetrock or the floors or obviously the furniture, but it's the skeleton or the scaffolding sometimes, if you want to think of it in that metaphor, that allows you to do the work that you do. So in my case, my framework is this image you see in front of you, is all the elements that I need to take my clients through in order for them to realize their goals. Okay, so the framework is an important way because it begins to give the idea, the way you want to impact the world, some kind of plan or some kind of map on how we are actually going to bring forth that idea. Next, we help our clients clarify their proprietary system or their intellectual property. What is it that they do differently in the process of bringing this idea to market that is unique to them? If you are a service entrepreneur or are a coach or some kind of expert, this is usually where your content will come or your unique copy or ideas around this topic. If you are a bakery, this is where your secret recipes will come. If you are in the manufacturing business or in the pharmaceutical business, this is where your intellectual property in the form of recipe for medicines, different the way you create your formula. If you're in the manufacturing, this is the way your technology that you use in creating your products. So here is the unique intellectual property you bring into the market, propelled by your idea. Again, always making sure that you're fulfilling the need that the idea is set out to fulfill the impact. Once you have clarity of your unique proprietary system, then and only then can we actually turn this proprietary system into a product, service, or program that you can bring forth in the market. Let me give you a very simple example. In the case of the brownies, you have your idea, you have your framework, which in the case of the brownies will be, let's say, I don't know, all organic ingredients, and then your unique proprietary system would be your secret recipes. And in the product, program, and services, this is actually the way you package to. How do you sell them? How do you present them to the market? In the case of technology, or in the case of service entrepreneurs, is how do the market consumes or can access this that you're putting out into the world. Okay. And then once we have that clarity, we take our client through the process of bringing it into the market. Now, you probably are familiar with this concept of marketing and sales, and you're probably familiar with the concept of a sales funnel. Now, let me tell you something about sales funnel. I actually call it a trust funnel, because in my experience, the more we engage in a consistent approach of adding value in every interaction we have with our market, the more we can build a trust relationship with our potential customers. And in my experience, only people that understand what you have to offer and they begin to trust you, they become clients in the long run. In many cases, sales teams go out to influence and close a sale. Not so much, for the sake of the customer, but more for the sake of, we need to meet our business goal, our business quota, right? But sometimes we are not completely in tune or attuned with our customer, and therefore we might push or influence our potential customers to purchase products that they might not actually need, or upsell something that they might not actually need. You see this a lot in telemarketing. You see this a lot unfortunately, you see it a lot in the service entrepreneur space. They tend to use a lot of tactics, what I call fear-based selling, meaning if you don't buy my product, then there's going to be consequences. You're going to lose money. You're going to X, Y, and Z. But when you come from a place of trust, you actually, at every point in the relationship with your prospect client, you're using that opportunity that each point of contact, from your website to your newsletter to any speaking engagement you might have, any networking situation, you're maximizing each one of those moments of connecting with your market as an opportunity to get visibility, raise awareness, but also to build trust. And it is in the consistent building of a trust relationship that you can expect to attract your clients, but also you can expect to have your clients bring you more clients, what we call the free sales force, or if you want, the word of mouth referral testimonial process of selling, which is one of the best ways, a most sustainable way for a company to grow. Now, these elements, this idea, the framework, the proprietary system, the packaging and programs, and then the trust funnels, these 5 areas are key elements of clarity that an entrepreneur or a business needs in order to succeed and grow in the marketplace today. Now, there's another 4 elements that happen simultaneously as we get through these different 5 steps or 5 stages of clarity. The first one I want to mention is market. I always say, when I start working with a client, I say, well, who should be buying your product? Like, who are you creating the solution for? And in many cases, I get people who say, well, almost anybody can benefit from my product. And that is great, but you always want to be very clear who you want to attract. Even though maybe later other people that you are not specifically targeting might buy your product, that's fine. But you want to be very clear who you want to attract, because by doing so, you are going to be very clear who and how you have a conversation. I sometimes say, ask my clients, who do you want to be a hero to? So clarity in your market is actually something that needs to go along each step of the 5 levels of clarity that we just talked about. Now, let me talk about mindset. And first, let me explain what mindset is. You might have heard, nowadays everybody's talking about mindset, but mindset is the state of your mind, and the state of your mind or the state of your organization's mind. What I mean by this is, and Henry Ford once said, if you believe you can or you believe you can't, both times you will be correct, which means that what we believe is possible is what's going to happen, because we will stand up and take action from the place of our beliefs. And if we are leading a team from a place of this is what we can do and this is what we can't do, or from a place of we can only do so much because we lack X, Y, and Z and resources, sometimes there are truth in that, in resources that we need to succeed. But in many cases is that if we operate from a place of abundance of resources, abundance of connections, abundance of opportunities, our success rate is going to be very different than if we're consistently operating from a mindset, from a belief of lack. We don't have enough this, enough that, enough of something else. So what the conversation in our heads is imperative to our business success. And many people continually take action without checking in of what is going in our heads. If you walk into a sales meeting or a trust meeting from a perspective of, they're never going to buy my product, your body language, your tone of voice, and the words that you use will reflect your mindset in an unconscious way. So I always say to my clients, first, make sure you're aligned and that you're clear on what you want to accomplish and who do you need to be to accomplish that objective. And then and only then do you walk into a room, or do you make that call, or do you write that email. The other thing that needs to happen consistently, and as you clarify the different 5 levels that we talked about, is the concept of a clear, consistent implementation strategy or action plan, meaning that every moment of your business needs to be a dance between gaining clarity, designing strategy, and defining your move, defining your action, defining what you're going to do next. Many times I get into the situation where a client will say, well, I really didn't do much because I wasn't sure of what's going to come next. Like, I'm not sure really what is going to happen next month, or will I make my sales? And I always answer, what is the action that is right in front of you that even though you don't know what's going to come 2 days from now, today you know you have to do this. And when I say it that way and they take that action, the one that is right in front of them, even if there's more questions than answers, then what happens is as we take that action, the next move reveals to us. In some ways, there's a dance of taking action and trusting at the same time. Trusting that the next thing we need to do will show up as we move forward. So that is a lot of sometimes entrepreneurs say, well, until I know more about my product, my market, my programs, I will not do anything. And I always challenge that, because it's really in the process of taking action that we learn to adjust. The book Lean Startup, it's a great book and resource that I use all the time, and they talk about the process of starting a company through the process of minimum prototypes, or what they call minimum viable product. I usually use MVP, minimum viable program or project, right? Is that what is the least amount of effort that will yield the most result? What is the minimum product I can create and put it in the market that will allow me to test my assumptions? I always feel so bad for people who go into design and creation mode for a long time without ever surfacing into the market to test their assumptions. There's thousands of examples out there of big companies and small companies that spend a lot of money on research and development, and then only to find out that what they created is not what the market needs. So consistent, regular action is imperative for growing your business, and if this implementation is anchored in your cornerstone idea, then the likelihood that you're gonna make a mistake is less. And the last part of this model is the concept of vision. Now, vision, usually people say, well, the vision should be in the center of my business strategy, and then everything else would come from there. And yes and no. Many times, when I ask clients, well, what is your vision? What do you want to accomplish? They will say, well, I want to be the number one consulting firm in the United States, or I want to be the top selling product in this category. Now, that is a valid vision, but it's a vision for themselves and for their company. Basically, it's more of a, what do you want to achieve as an organization? So while it is very important that we are always clear on where we're going as an organization, what goals we want to achieve, what is our financial goals, what is our market penetration goal, what is our branding goal, right? How do you want to be seen? It's not actually the cornerstone idea. The idea is always the way we impact the world. So let's review. Let's go back to our full model. So when it all comes together, the clarity idea, clarity of framework, clarity of our IP, intellectual property, or our proprietary system, clarity of our products and services, and only then, our clarity of how do we build the funnel of trust. Once we get all this together, paired with the clarity of market, our winning mindset, a vision that is aligned with the way we want to impact the world, and a consistent plan for implementation, then and only then can we actually move forward with our business and realize the compound growth that our business is bound to have when we're aligning every one of these elements. I wanted to bring this conversation to you and introduce this model, the idea method, because I believe that it is the way we are changing the way people run and grow their businesses. And I would be honored if you would want to explore more about this method. The only thing you need to do is just fill out the form below, or fill out the contact us form and request a private consultation with us. One of our team members will be happy to have a free strategy session with you and realize and recognize where you stand in this process of clarity and what we can do to help you grow your business. Until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and it was my pleasure to be with you today.